up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, Keto with Sammy, where I show y'all every day what I eat to lose weight. Today we are going to be making this chicken parmesan with spaghetti squash. So let's get straight to the video. So for today's ingredients, you're going to want a couple of chicken breasts. I'm only using 2 because it's just me and my husband, and I'm going to be cutting them in half. So a couple of chicken breasts, some fresh mozzarella that I'm going to be using. If you just have shredded mozzarella, that'll do, or sliced mozzarella, but I recommend using fresh. Some red sauce. Make sure it is low in carbs. This is the H-E-B brand. It only has 4 carbs. Some heavy whipping cream. And for the breading of the chicken parmesan, you're going to need some oil, some almond flour, some eggs, and these are all the seasonings that I'm using. You could add or you could take out, whatever you prefer. Some parsley flakes, some salt, some onion powder, some Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, some basil leaves, oregano leaves, some black pepper, and some Parmesan cheese. Now for the sides, I'm going to be using a spaghetti squash for the spaghetti, some garlic, and this is just a mix of Parmesan and mozzarella, half a cup each to throw in the spaghetti, some butter. And for our side, we're going to be using a salad Italian kit, H-E-B brand. Now they do have a couple of these, but I only saw 2 that are actually low in carbs. So just look at your labels. This one has some celery, some broccoli, some cheese, some green onions, and a couple other things. So we're going to give this a try today. And those are all the ingredients that you need. So the first step you want to do is start preheating your oven to 425. Now we're going to cut our spaghetti squash in half. Now this is a little tough to do, so you just have to be careful. Take your knife. Once you have your spaghetti squash cut in half, I'm only going to be using half today. It's only for 2 people, and it does make a lot, so it goes a long way. And then you're just going to take a spoon and you're going to clean out all the seeds. Okay, once you have your spaghetti squash completely cleaned out, we're just going to take a cap full of olive oil and just drizzle it over it. And now we're going to put it in the oven. So we're going to put our spaghetti squash in the oven to roast. You want to make sure it's face down. And this should take about 20 minutes depending on the size of your spaghetti squash. Once your spaghetti squash is in the oven, now you want to start preparing your chicken. I did wash my chicken breast, so I'm going to cut mine in half. So just lay it flat, take a knife, just like this. And now I'm just going to flatten them out a bit so they can cook evenly. Take a piece of parchment paper, place that over it, and take anything that you can just bang it with. Okay, once that's done, I'm just going to sprinkle this with some salt and pepper because all the seasoning is going to go in the breading. Some pepper. Just do that to both sides. We're just going to set this aside. Now you're going to want to take a bowl and a plate. And for the breading, we're going to be using the almond flour. We're going to take a cup of it for 4 breasts. And then we're going to take all our seasonings. Some parsley flakes, We're gonna put a teaspoon of each. The onion powder. Italian seasoning. Garlic powder. Basil leaves. Oregano leaves. Some salt. Some more pepper. And then we're going to put some Parmesan cheese. For the Parmesan cheese, I'm going to put 1 tablespoon. And then just give that a good mix. And now we're going to do the egg wash. So depending on how many chicken breasts you're going to need, depends on how many eggs. Since I have 4, I'm just going to use 2. So if you have more, just double it up. Once you have your eggs in there, you're going to want to take some heavy whipping cream. You're going to put about 2 tablespoons. So just like this. And you're going to whisk that together until the egg is fully mixed in. Alright, so now that our breading is done and our egg wash, we're just going to heat up some oil in a pan. So you're going to take some olive oil or avocado oil, whatever you have in hand, and we're going to put our pan on a medium-high and just start heating the oil. So just coat the bottom of your pan. We're going to start breading our chicken. So you're going to take a piece of chicken breast. First, dip it in the egg wash. Make sure both sides are coated. Let the excess drip. And then we're going to put it straight into the almond flour and just pat it down. Make sure the sides are coated. And then just put it on a plate. And repeat the process. Remember not to use milk in your egg wash. So that's why we used heavy whipping cream. And heavy whipping cream is also a great fat on keto. Okay. Once we have all our chicken breasts coated, we're going to drop them in the oil. Just gently place your chicken breast in the oil. Now we are only letting this brown, and then we're going to finish them off in the oven. Once you see the edges getting brown, you're just going to flip your chicken. And just let the other side crisp up. Once both sides are crispy, I am going to be transferring them to this wire rack. Do you have to have one of these? No. Do I prefer you to have one of them? Yes. So if you want to buy one, I am going to be linking in the description below. It does help because when you put them in the oven, you want it to crisp on both sides. And when you lay them in a pan, it will get soggy on one side. So I prefer just to have a wire rack for that reason. So once we fry our chicken, we're just going to put it in the oven for 10 minutes so we can fully cook the chicken through. And then we're going to top it. So once you put your chicken in the oven, your spaghetti squash should be done cooking. So we're just going to take it out. And you'll know when it's ready when you could stick a fork through it and it's soft. And it'll be roasted around the edges. And we're just going to let it cool down for a couple minutes. After 10 minutes, we're going to take our chicken out the oven. And we're going to start topping it with the red sauce and cheese. So now what we're going to do is top it with your low carb red sauce, whatever sauce that you prefer to use. Just make sure it's low in carbs. We're going to take a spoonful and just place it right on top. And then you're going to take your fresh mozzarella or your shredded. Mine did come pre-sliced, so I'm just going to pull it apart. You're going to lay mozzarella right on top. And now we're going to put this to broil just until the cheese is melted and a little bit crispy. Put your oven to broil and you're going to want to put it at 450. While our chicken is in the oven broiling, make sure you do keep an eye on it because you don't want it to burn. But we're just going to start pulling apart the spaghetti squash. So just take 2 forks. And you can see that it comes out as like in strings, like spaghetti. And just do that till it's completely pulled apart. And now we're actually going to toss it in a pan with some butter and some seasoning just to give it to some flavor. Take some butter and have your pan heating up on a medium high. And we're just going to toss in 2 tablespoons of butter. Let that melt down. Once it's melting down, you're going to take a tablespoon of fresh garlic. Toss that in there. And you're just going to let it cook until the garlic, you can smell it. Just don't burn your garlic. Once your garlic is slightly brown, we're going to toss in the spaghetti squash. Get as much as you can out. Careful because it will still be hot. Alright, once you have it out, toss it in the butter. Then you're going to add some salt. Salt it to your liking. Some pepper. And then I'm going to toss in that mozzarella and parmesan cheese mix we had. Turn off your heat. And we're just going to set this to the side till the chicken is done. In the meantime, we're just going to start tossing our salad together. I like these salads because they already come prepared. So you just take out the bag, toss the salad in a bowl. This one comes with some chopped salami, some cheese, and then Italian dressing. Just dump it all in there, give it a good toss, and then we're just going to set it in the fridge until we're ready to plate. So our chicken is done broiling, and we're just going to take it out and start plating. So the first thing we're going to plate is the spaghetti squash. So just get however much you're going to eat on the plate. And I did heat up a little bit of red sauce, so I'm just going to put a spoonful of top. And a little bit of basil leaves. Next, I'm going to plate the salad. And now just take your chicken breast. That right on top. And we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of parsley flakes. And your dinner is done. Alright guys, so that concludes today's chicken parm recipe. I hope y'all give this recipe a try. Please like, share, and if you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you on the next video.